being a CEO is ghetto.
It's so ghetto.
AF.
Yeah.
People think that we have it all figured out.
Which is wild.
Which is ghetto.
No, literally.
Y'all, we have nothing figured out.
No.
Even the things that look figured out, we're still in the process of figuring it out.
And I remember the first client that I closed for like $1,300 a month.
Couldn't tell you anything.
Baby, that was it. I was like, oh, it's up. I'm rich.
Yes. Rich.
Where
are we moving to? Show me the high rise.
Yeah. And I'm walking through the office in tears. I'm like, my business is gone.
And you like, wait a minute. It's gone.
At least I could have had a Birkin.
I ain't got nothing.
Like, I ain't got nothing to show for this. But I had just let go of my entire team. I fired everybody.
How do you do that?
Bye.
You even fired your best friend.
My best friend.
Your best friend.
Yes.
Everybody can get it.
You can go.
Are y'all still How'd you make $1 million and then lose it?
So
ghetto. It's giving ghetto.
No, I feel judged.
You are being judged.
On full transparency.
Welcome to another episode of Full Transparency with Donni Wiggins, where we talk all things entrepreneurship, life in a very transparent manner. Sometimes you get me by myself. Sometimes you get me and some of my dope entrepreneur friends, and I let you kind of be a fly on the wall of a conversation that I have with them if the cameras weren't here. In fact, we get so transparent in our conversation sometimes that we forget that the cameras really are here. And I have a feeling that it can go this way today with the guests that I have. You guys, I got to tell you, this young lady is like my little sister. She is super dope in the areas of business and marketing. She is building communities all over social media. Well, she got to be the most ghetto CEO that I have met to date. Like, when you think about highly sophisticated entrepreneurs, you are not thinking about this young lady. When you are thinking about somebody who is super organized and they're super just, to the T about the look and the prim and the proper and trying to be perfect, we're not thinking about this lady. But when we thinking about ghetto, when we thinking about needs improvement, we are thinking about my favorite ghetto CEO, literally the host of the Ghetto CEO podcast, Marketing by Monrae, a.k.a. Monrae. What's good?
What's oh, Ghetto CEO in the building.
Ghetto CEO in the building. I bet nobody has ever introduced you as the most ghetto.
No, ever. That's the first. Welcome.
I think you should do that because now listeners are like,
what?
Is she serious?
Right. What is about to happen?
Are they about to throw hands in this room?
Like, she doesn't give me that.
Marketing, Monrae, you don't give that. But the truth is, we're out here doing this CEO stuff for the first time in our bloodline. Yes. And if we're being totally honest, being a CEO is ghetto.
It's so ghetto.
AF.
Yes.
Dot.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation point. Put all of the little symbols and emojis behind it.
Wow, who signed up for this?
Who signed up for this?
I didn't. I didn't ask for this. So here we are.
Here we are. But we're doing it very well.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I think that, like, me talking about being a CEO is super ghetto, I think I cried because it was a lot going on. Like, I just felt the pressures of the company and personal pressures. We have a 17-year-old, John, and he's about to go to college. And I just feel, as a boy, like, sometimes they just not prepared. I'm like, why you not thinking about, why we ain't putting no applications in? So I was just, like, so stressed out because I was like, now it's up to me to figure it out.
Yeah. Doesn't it always at least feel like it's up to us to just figure it out?
Always. And that was the feeling yesterday. Like, it was just like, it's just always up to me to figure it out.
But that is why you have such a strategic mind and come up with like the dopest marketing campaigns, because the way your mind works is I figure it out. Like, you see pieces that need to be coordinated and you know how to make a messy thing very neat.
Yes.
You are a marketing coach.
Yes.
An expert.
Yes.
Do you actually do like campaigns for clients today?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We actually opened the agency side back up to the business. We closed it for like 2 years. But we do campaigns now for a particular client.
Okay.
So we've been working on that.
What's that particular client?
So for us to do the work for you, you have to be at a certain revenue level. So you need to be at least at 30, 40K months.
Okay.
So you can support the campaign that needs to happen. But as far as we teach service-based businesses how to create addictive revenue-generating campaigns while prioritizing community.
Addictive revenue-generating campaigns.
Yes.
Break that down for me.
Yes.
Break that down for them, okay?
Period. So our goal is to help you. One, the addictive part. Like, you need to make sure that people remember you. And people still walk up to me today and it's like, you are really putting people in jail. That's wild. Because we had a lockdown campaign, or you really became Beyonce, upgrade you, you know? And that's 2 years ago, and people still they identify with that. And so it makes it addictive. It makes people like, what's next? What's going on? And now we're using that to build our community so they stay to see what's next. And so we got to make money too. So that's the revenue generating part.
Addictive, because sometimes we put all this thought process into creating an addictive offer, but we don't put enough energy into the revenue part, to the part where we get to the money.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
What makes an offer addictive?
I think what makes the offer addictive is it sticky? In the sense of, is it something that you can remember? Is it something that we could duplicate? Is it something that people can stick in their minds, right? And are they attracted to it? And did they get the message based on what we just put out, right? So I always give people the tip, like, if you're trying to do something where I need to get a certain message over and over and over in your head, you probably should utilize a song. Because if the song relates, like, that's why we did Upgrade You by Beyonce. And for 21 days, we kept saying, upgrade you, upgrade you, upgrade you. And so when our planners came out, it was time to what? Upgrade. And so you bought it.
Did you use that song in real time when the song was hot, or did you just bring that song back out into relevancy?
Yeah, I brought it back. This was in 2020. So it was already gone, but I brought it back, and you know it. You know Beyonce.
Yeah.
You're aware of the song. So now you're hearing this. You get a postcard in the mail that says upgrade you. You keep seeing these ads that say upgrade you. I go live every day doing a upgrade your customer service, upgrade your tech, upgrade this. And you keep seeing this message. It's kind of, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Focus.
I don't think so.
So Focus has Will Smith in there, and they keep talking about how to get people to gamble a certain way, you show them this number over and over and over again all day. When you wake up, it's 3 pencils beside you. When you get in a car, there's 3 cars beside you. Like, they do those things to help you gamble. And that's kind of where I started to get the idea of, like, you got to repeat this message for an extended period of time so people can really get it. I would first analyze the intentionality behind the visuals. Most people are creative, but it's creative with a feeling. Like, it's just like, oh, I feel like this is going to do good. But all of my creativity is intentional. So you have to have strategic creativity so that it relates back to the numbers. And so we always, like, in our method, we have a phase 2 which is called concept and strategy, where we develop the concept, the visuals, the idea, but you also need the strategy, the numbers, how much traffic you need, what are the numbers, like what needs to happen, so it supports each other. So most of the time there's a gap. And you may have a concept, but do you have the strategy? Do you have a strategy, but do you have a concept that's addictive?
That's for sure. A lot of business owners don't even know what metrics they should be studying. So when we're thinking about a brand new business, you specialize in product-based businesses.
Service-based.
Service?
Yes.
Really? I thought you were in the e-commerce space.
No, we switched a couple, not necessarily switched, but we kind of like merged over and identified who the person was that we helped the most.
Okay. Yeah. And it's service-based entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Even better. I specialize in that too,
yes.
but from a different level. So you specialize in service-based businesses, but you also have a great deal of experience with product-based businesses. If we're thinking about an entrepreneur right now or a company, they are generating revenue on and off, but they're making decent enough money to call themselves an entrepreneur or a business owner. And we have to now, for the first time, get this entrepreneur to start studying metrics or data. What would be the first things that we need to focus on right now without being super high level in like automations and integrations?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that we do, and I always tell CEOs, is like, first we need to figure out your CEO type. Like, what type of CEO are you? Because everybody's not a strategic CEO. Everybody, we have traditional CEOs, we have creative CEOs, we have hybrid CEOs. So what type of CEO are you? Because that's going to determine how emotionally connected you are to what you're connected to. So if you're a strategic CEO, then you really like stuff that makes sense. So emails are going to be your thing that you're going to love, because social media don't make sense to you. You like, I put it out, it didn't work, why are we here? You know what I'm saying? But like, if you are a creative CEO, you're looking at the comments, the engagement, the feedback from the human beings on the other side of the phone. But if you're a traditional CEO, you don't like being on the phone because you like to be at events. So depending on the type of CEO you are, I always tell them to lean into your innate skills first, and then we start to expand from there. But like, once you know that, then you can know what numbers to look at. So if you're a strategic CEO, you should be focusing more on tangible things like emails, text message, list building. You can even focus on ads because you can see a direct return into your effort. If you're a creative CEO, then you're going to focus on the metrics that's associated with social media. If you are a traditional CEO, then you're going to focus on the metrics that's associated with relationships and connecting. So maybe partnerships, events, building traffic through barring collaborations and things of that nature.
What kind of CEO are you?
I'm a hybrid.
I think so. I'm listening to you and I'm like, I like check. Check. Okay.
Yes.
So if you are a hybrid, that means that you have a mashup of all three of these types of CEO. And then you got to start looking at all that data.
Yes.
Doesn't it get overwhelming though?
For a hybrid CEO, it can, because a lot of times when you're starting out, you don't know what you're good at. So you're like, I could do all of it. I could get on social media. I could go to the events. I could do whatever. And so you have to have enough discipline to pick and decide and move in that decision, you know? And so that's where it gets kind of overwhelming for a hybrid CEO. And I always tell them, because they overthink. They're like, I don't know which way to go. Like, I could do whatever. And now I'm moving off of emotions based off versus data.
Yeah. But you weren't always this dialed in.
No.
When you started as an entrepreneur.
No.
And so I think sometimes when we are sharing, like, here's what you need to do, here's what I do, here's what's going on today, I think sometimes it can be overwhelming to that end user, to the person that we're talking to, because it's like they're trying to study you mean social media metrics. I mean, that's easy. 3 people like my post every single day. Right. You're talking about emails. What do you even mean by emails? I don't send emails, blah blah blah. Like, it can be intimidating because they don't even have those core systems even set up. Yeah. Let's talk about Monrae when she was just getting started.
Ooh, 19-year-old Monrae.
19-year-old Monrae.
That's crazy.
How long? Okay, so first of all, have you ever had a job?
Yes.
You did?
Jobs. Yeah, I've been working since I was 14.
Since you were 14.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. At what age were you fully sustainable as an entrepreneur?
So, and then when you say jobs, like, I had side jobs, but I never worked in corporate, like had a career. Okay. But fully sustainable as an entrepreneur, 2017, I was like 22, 23. I had just graduated, and I wasn't fully sustainable, but I didn't have a job.
Okay. All right.
I was,
struggling.
I was doing some things.
Struggling on my own revenue. I'm doing it, though. I'm in control of it. Yes. Okay. So take me back to the beginning, because some of the people who are watching Full Transparency with Donni right now, they are at the beginning, or systematically they're at the beginning. Because we've hustled in business for a long time. Yeah. And then you finally like go get your LLC. Girl, I was making money like crazy before I got an LLC, an EIN, or a business bank account, right? Period. So talk to me about the beginning days. Did you start in the marketing space?
Yeah, so I actually started in the marketing space. I started at 19. There was a makeup artist in my city where I went to college. She said, I need an assistant. I said, I need a job, and here we are. And so she didn't know what an assistant did, and I didn't either. But my mind just started to think about the things that we could do. And so we started to get on Instagram, and I started to like do before and afters for her to show like before she did the makeup, after, and she started to really blow up on Instagram. And so I was like, okay, let's do an event. Let's do a slumber party.
Wait, Monrae, because you just needed a job.
Yeah, that's it.
Were you studying marketing?
I was actually in school to be an accountant.
Okay, so how do you just have this innate ability to just say, oh, I know befores and afters? Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Like, were you on Instagram doing like your own before and afters?
No, Jesus, it had to be because the way that I learn is by trial and error. Like I just do. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And a lot of CEOs can't live in that gray area. And that it stops them from just trying stuff. And that's what CEOs is about. Like having a business, you just throwing stuff at the wall.
Yo, did it look, you throw it and be like, did it stick though? Did it stick?
Okay, that one. Let's go that way.
We're doing that one.
Yes. And then 3 months later, it's like, okay, it's not sticking no more. I got to start something.
Yo, people think that we have it all figured out.
Which is wild.
Which is ghetto.
No, literally.
Y'all, we have nothing figured out. No. Even the things that look figured out, we're still in the process of figuring it out. Yes, and I love so much about you that you are fully transparent about the journey. Because we got enough people out here that's making it look real perfect and high level. And we making high level money sometimes with some real low level practices that we are improving on a regular everyday basis. So you got this makeup artist, you're doing these before and afters. Your idea of being her assistant at that time, or y'all's idea, is you basically managing her social media. Basically. And I started thinking about events. And so we did a slumber party, and it was like a makeup slumber party with a bridal party. And we did that, and I was like, oh, we should do more of this. Like, I just would try stuff, and I think it's the space of sometimes in your CEO journey or your entrepreneurship journey, you need a space to try stuff and somebody allow you to do it first. Because she could have said no and shot down every idea that I had, and I probably wouldn't have had the tenacity to just always just try things because she told me no. But because she was just like, okay, cool, let's try it. You know what I'm saying? And we would do it, and then it worked, and I'm like, oh, my mind is great. Like, I don't know what this is. And so I remember being watching her one day, and I was like, how do you know how much to charge for your makeup? And she was like, I don't. I just pick a price. I'm like, well, we need to calculate how much makeup are you doing on each person, like how much of the bottle it is. Like, and she was like, why does your mind work like that? And I was like, I don't know, but like we need to figure it out. So I really had the opportunity to dial in what I knew that was already innately in me. It was just natural. You said, so when you saw things that worked, you're like, wow, my mind really works. I understand this. But what happens when things didn't work? Like your ideas that you came up with, you're living with this idea, you're sleeping with this idea. You know that idea that you get, that you like, this is about to hit, and you put something out there and it doesn't take off. You know, I experienced that when I started to build my own business, like not be her assistant and get more clients, and I had the idea that didn't take off, which a lot of entrepreneurs, I feel, they don't get that experience until they get in their own business. And because we'll go to school, we'll make straight A's, we'll be the perfect student, we'll all the things, because in school, effort equals reward. But in entrepreneurship, it does not. And so it's like, okay, I'm doing all the work, I'm making all the posts, I'm doing everything right. Like this what Donni said, this was Monrae said, like I did it, but I'm not making any money. And that's not how it aligns to entrepreneurship. And so when I realized that, I was like, okay, but I gotta keep going. Like I can't stop, because I have to, something worked, and it worked for somebody else, so why wouldn't it work for me? What was the transitional moment though? Like you were doing a job. At what point did you transition to say, I'm going to offer this as a business? So it's so funny, because I just thought that she was my client.
I was like, this is my job, but she's my client. Like, she pays me $300, a month.
$300.
So, right.
I have her on retainer.
Right. Like, she's my client. So from that experience, I just went to other businesses and showed them my results.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, look, we built up our page to 60,000 followers. We did this. And so we started to pitch other businesses. And I remember the first client that I closed for like $1,300 a month.
Couldn't tell you anything.
Baby, that was it. I was like, oh, it's up. I'm rich.
Yes. Rich.
Rich.
Where we moving to? Show me the high rise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Show me the best.
Show me the best. This is beneath me.
Yes. Facts.
Yes.
Facts. So I was ready.
I love it. So when you talk about I went to other businesses and I showed them what works, how do we really know? Because right now, if we're being honest, and you may even have started your business this way, we're really in a space where people put out an idea, and if it doesn't work by the end of the week, it was trash.
Yep.
When really your idea needed 3 months to really show a result. How do we know that the marketing campaign or strategies are working?
The way that I determine that the campaign is working is that at the end, it's the analyzation. You analyze, is this actually working? But it's based on the plan that you put in place. The reason why I love marketing is because it's numbers. Like, it has nothing to do with your feelings. It has nothing to do with how cute you were on that post. Like, it's the numbers, it's the data, it's the conversion. Like, it's the numbers. So once we compare the results and what we planned based on the numbers, if they don't align, then it's going to tell you that it didn't work or it did work. So the number one thing that I always ask my clients is, how much traffic did you get? How many people came? Oh, yeah, I know I needed 10,000 people to see it, but 3,000 people saw it and I didn't get that. There's the answer, boo.
There's the answer. So we could be creating marketing campaigns for all different types of outcomes. Every outcome isn't to generate sales. What are some, and I want you to answer this question because there's an entrepreneur right now who's they've come up with the dopest marketing. They put it out there. They're super consistent, but it's not generating sales. And they think that the marketing campaign has failed because they don't understand that there are different outcomes that you can set a goal for.
Yeah.
So what kind of outcomes would we create marketing campaigns for?
So you can create marketing campaigns to build community. Like, for example, we're doing a live event, but we're giving away free tickets, and that's to build community. I need people to see what we have going on. So you can do a marketing campaign to build community. You could do it just for visibility. My goal is just to be in front of as many people as possible. It doesn't have to generate money. You could do it just a marketing campaign, just to nurture the audience you already have. So if you have a lot of followers, but they're not buying, or if you have a lot of people on the email list and they're not converting, you may create a campaign specifically for them to move them throughout the customer journey. So there's different reasons why you kind of create campaigns, but it just depends on what your business needs at that point in time.
And I think it's so important to make sure we're not overlooking the fact that your audience, depending on where they are, depending on who they are, depending on what they've experienced, whether they've purchased something from you or have been around, they don't necessarily get the same marketing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't think about that. Like, even your business, for example, right? You outwardly to your newer clients, you may talk about actionable CEO, but in the emails in the back end on sales calls, you got a whole nother campaign because they don't need actionable CEO. They are at another level and they are ready to transition. So you got a nurture campaign in the back end. But you as a CEO, I think the gap for a lot of people is they don't study and learn enough so that they can be able to make those puppet-like decisions in their business, because that's your job, is to create revenue. Your job is to figure this out. Like, you just can't hire someone off the street and like, oh, she got it, she gonna figure it out for my business. No, you gotta learn.
Yeah. Sometimes you can market too soon, though, before the company or the offer is ready to market. What would be some indicators that you're not ready to go all in on a marketing campaign right now?
I would say, and it depends. So if you are doing a campaign for straight visibility, right? Like I always tell people, before you launch a business, spend time, that time where you're developing a product or developing an offer, spend time getting to be seen as the expert in that industry. Like just spend time putting out straight value.
But what does that mean? What does it mean?
Make posts, right? Like make posts.
You mean to tell me that making posts is the introductory part of marketing?
Yes.
Making posts isn't just marketing?
No.
What?
No.
Do you know how many people think that?
That is crazy to me. But yes, that's true. Like people think that social media is it. And that's only one part of your traffic strategy. You got building, that is you building your platforms. You borrowing, that's you collaborating with other people. Or you buying, that's you actually buying traffic. So there's different ways to get people to see you. So your goal is to establish yourself as the expert while you're building in the background. And so that when...
Hey, are you a service-based entrepreneur that helps your clients or customers get some type of result, but you're struggling to post and communicate your message on social media? You don't know how to type a caption that connects and gets people's attention and converts them from just someone who's following you on social to becoming your customer or your client? Great news is that's my superpower. So I'm sending you 3 text messages every single day, excluding major holidays, directly to your phone of exactly what you need to post to get people to buy and convert them into clients and customers. All you have to do is join my program, Post to Paid, and you can do so by texting the words Post to Paid to 404-737-2767. And the best news is just $37 a month. So hurry up, send me the text. I'm looking for it now.
Your offer is done. You can say, hey, okay, y'all ready to come party? I got an offer. I got something for y'all. I'm ready to solve your problem. But if you wasn't talking about this before, I'm not tapped into what you got going on. And now we talking to empty room.
Now we talking to an empty room. We put all these bells and whistles, set the whole stage just for nobody to be in the audience.
Nobody. And then now you depressed. Now you feel like this business don't work and you done wasted all your money and time.
When really you were just out of order, sis.
You were out of order.
Ghetto. Yes. It's giving ghetto.
No, seriously. And most people don't know, you know what I mean? But like, it's just, you were out of order. You didn't know that you needed to be visible first. A lot of people focus on the experience part of their offer or their product. It got to have the best packaging. It needs to have this, when they come to my retreat, I want them to have the little boat. Like, they're thinking about all of that, right? But they're not thinking about, can't nobody see you.
Can't nobody see you.
If enough people can't see you, they can't pay you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people have to see you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Spend time being the expert.
There's a saying that goes around the internet, and it has been for years: best marketer wins. Like, basically, doesn't matter if you're the most talented, best marketer wins. Doesn't matter if your offer is packaged the prettiest, best marketer wins.
Yes, literally.
When you think about that and you see these dope marketing campaigns come across your feed or come across your desk, even looking, to take them on as a client, and you get really behind the back end of what they have going on and it's super subpar, like what goes through your mind?
We just wasted all this money, see? Yeah. Like, because I actually did my TEDx on that. Okay. I talked about how nobody cares about your talent. They only care about your results. Like, you have to be the best marketer. And you got to stop thinking about yourself as a makeup artist or whatever type of business you have, a coach. You're a marketer.
You're a marketer. I'm a marketer.
Yes, we're all marketers.
We're marketers. Yes. If you have a business, you're a marketer.
Absolutely. And you got to be the best. Not somewhat good. Like, you have to really study that. Because when you think about this, when I think about the CEOs that's really out here getting money, like, they understand their marketing. They might not understand how that fulfillment works, how, like, they might hire somebody on that side, but this marketing, like, I got to be directly connected to my ATM. And my marketing is where I make my money.
I got to be directly connected to my ATM.
Yes.
And my marketing is where I make my money. What are the essentials of marketing? Like, every campaign must have it.
Okay, so the essentials of marketing, I would say, I mean, we have a framework to create a campaign. And so you have to have a clear offer, what we call a focus product. It needs to be $1 million. Like, it's irresistible.
$1 million.
$1 million. You also have to have concept. You have to have a clear addictive concept and a strategy. So you got to know how you're getting these people attracted, hooking them in, and then you got to have a strategy to keep them and convert them. You need to sit down and map it out, which is phase 3, where you put everything on paper. A lot of people look at my campaigns, and when they think about campaigns or launches, they think about the pretty. They think about, the photos and the videos, and it's like, no, I spent 2 weeks documenting everything.
Those little sticky notes.
Yes.
They don't see the sticky notes everywhere.
Do not see that
everything
either.
Crossed out, highlighted, circled, balled up paper.
Yes. Like, you gotta document. And that's because when it's time to go into phase 4, which is you creating the content, you now know what to do. I know what type of posts to make. I know what type of videos to create. I know what type of emails to write. Like, I could do it very quickly because I spent 2 weeks to actually create that. And then it's time to execute. When it's time to execute, you're launching. You're getting people to be excited about your offer. You're bringing them to the launch activity, the webinar, the whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting them here. And then you got to analyze, pivot, and then optimize. So all of those, that's our steps into our process.
You are really smart. I want to know, how does an entrepreneur know which marketing style is their style? We got people who are doing TikToks and they're trying to dance. We have people who are doing a day in the life of, attempting to market whatever they have, and nobody cares about a day in their life. How do you know what your lane is?
I say it goes back to that CEO type. Because you have to, anytime you try to put an apple with an orange and you compare it, it's like, it's not the same, right? And so you have to identify who you are as a CEO so you can see what actually is natural for you.
Okay.
So, for example, like I said, if you're a traditional CEO, you really love events, you love people, you love relationships. Events and things of that nature, because that's natural for you.
Gotcha.
Versus you trying to do content at home and you looking at the camera like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a natural thing for you.
So to that person who is afraid of marketing, they're solopreneur, they don't know what they're doing other than getting your course or joining your tribe. Like, what's the easy thing I can do to get exposure for my business, my offer right now?
So the first thing I always tell people, until you making about $20K a month, your main focus is visibility and traffic. And so the only thing that you should be asking is, how many people saw me today? And so you should be putting out content on your build strategy, right? You should be posting on all platforms, as many as you can, figure out how to get on, right? You should be talking to your email list if you do have an email list. And then you should be borrowing. Who else has my audience that I could get in front of? And it doesn't always have to be up. Like, who across has my audience? Like,
break that down.
So you don't have to DM Donni. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be someone you admire. It could be literally someone you sit next to at a conference. It could be someone that's in the same community as you. You're a hairstylist. She's a makeup artist. Let's do an Instagram live together. Let's do a package deal together for people that's going to prom. You know, like, how can you collaborate and partner and borrow other people's traffic? Who podcasts can you get on? It doesn't have to be social proof. It doesn't have to be full transparency. Like, it could be someone that's just starting, but those 100 listeners do not know you.
Yes.
And so that is an opportunity for you to borrow traffic, and then you could buy, but you need some money. Okay. So you could buy traffic, you could buy influencers, you can spend money to get in front of more people, but your only job until you get to like 20K months is straight traffic. Don't worry about conversions. Don't worry about, let me optimize this funnel. I heard somebody say funnel. Like, let me feel like, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
If you just get in front of as many people as possible, you will convert. You will convert. If you're solving the problem, you spent the time to create the offer to solve the problem, you will convert if you're speaking to the right people. Exposure.
Just bringing leads in. Okay, so until you get to 20K a month, all you should be focused on is exposure. Obviously, you need to have the offer, right? You need to have an offer, somewhere to take them to. I'm getting all this exposure, Monrae. Like my followers are growing, but now I'm not making money yet.
Yeah.
What's missing?
I think that what will be missing is so once you get exposure, the next part of the customer journey is nurture. So it's visibility, nurture, and then purchase. Most people think people go from seeing you to paying you, and then they need to be nurtured first. Right. So I'm
so glad that you hit this is where I wanted you to go.
Yes.
Okay.
You got to nurture them. You got to get them on your email list. You can't just get the followers and never ask them for their email.
Okay.
You got to call. Like, I used to pick up the phone and call people with my abandoned carts.
No, ma'am.
Yes, I did.
I'm not doing that today. I'm going to be honest.
I understand.
I get where you coming from.
I get what you coming from, but let that payroll be due.
Yeah, yes.
Hello. What you need to keep
saw that you had something in your cart. Yes. Did you have a question about how this works?
Yes.
Did you have a question?
Facts.
Yes. Right. So what I'm hearing from you is exposure, but we can't just go from hello, I see you to now I am giving you my money, my most valuable resource right now, my money. There's some steps in between. And those steps in between look like nurturing.
Yep.
What does nurturing look like? Are we talking about like lives? This is where posting comes in. Yes. Like, what does nurturing look like?
I think it's all of the above that you just said, right? Like emails, lives, posts, because there's certain type of posts that is for the person that already knows you versus the person that you're trying to attract, right? There's different type of content levels that you may put out, right? So you're posting, you're emailing, you're texting, you're doing phone calls, you may do free classes, you bring them in so they get to know you. And what's more important in this season of this looming, I don't know what it's called, recession, not recession, somewhat, you know what I mean? Like, people are taking longer to go from the visibility to purchase. Like, that nurture phase is just taking a little bit longer, where in 2020, 2021, it might take 2 days. Now it's taking they need a month to get to know you. Or it may have taken 2 times for them to come to your website. Now they got to come 14 times. Yeah. And I got to talk to somebody on the phone. And I got to see her on live. And I need to know her mama name.
Before I give you this $19.97.
Facts.
For sure.
Yes.
I got to see all the testimonials.
All of them.
I got to DM people that I see in your comments like, did you really get your product? Did they really give you the service? Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Now, we're getting exposure, right? But sometimes we can get exposure and the house that we're bringing them to looks filthy. So what are some things that we want to make sure, even before we unleash the gates, let the gates open to bring these people in, we got to do some pre-work to make sure when we're getting this exposure, they want to stay.
Yeah. So honestly, that was the biggest mistake I feel like I had in my business. So I got the exposure, I nurtured them, I converted them. I know how to make money. I didn't know how to fulfill customer service. Like, that wasn't my jam. Like, okay, you got your products. Like, you need me to walk you through this. Like, what do you need from me? You know? And so what I would say to people is that I do think you should prioritize the experience while prioritizing marketing. Like, yes, you need them to purchase, but understand what happens after that purchase. Do they immediately get an email? Why is it that you got to manually send the ebook and not it can automatically go out, right? Because it tarnishes your reputation. And so you want to make sure that you are thinking about what happens after the purchase, but don't spend more time over there than getting the money. Yeah.
Where did you get this information from? Is it just you didn't go to school for this? Is this really just years of experience and trial and error?
One, I definitely think God just innately gave me this talent, but I also learned from experience. I learned from losing money. I learned from going broke, making $1 million and not having no money. You know, like, I learned from servicing over 35,000 clients and not knowing what's next. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned from mistakes, and I feel like a lot of time God makes me take the brunt of the mistakes so I can teach other people. So I think I just had to learn it for y'all.
How did you, for y'all?
For y'all. This was for you.
This is for you.
You're welcome.
This is for you. Yes. Be grateful.
Yes.
How'd you make $1 million and then lose it?
So it wasn't like I made it and then it just floated away, but that's how I felt, right? So I made, in 2020, our first year, we went from $168,000 to $1.1 million. What ended up happening is, because we were growing so fast, we were making hundreds of $1,000s a month. I went from 20K months to making $100,000 in a month. I'm like, everything's broke. Like, everything, the systems are broke, the people are broken. Like,
fix everything.
So
at one time.
Exactly. So you need $70K to fix funnels? Yeah, I need funnels. $70,000.
Not realizing that $1 million is only $83,000 a month, and I'm about to give you 70.
Yes.
Plus, I have payroll.
Come on.
Then I have rent.
Come on.
Then I have fulfillment.
Wait a minute.
Then I got life.
Yes.
Like, I gotta live, and then you like, wait a minute.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. And I couldn't. That was probably like one of the lowest points of like even though I didn't realize it, but when I stepped back, because it happened 2 years in a row. That you made it and then dwindled it away. Yep.
Or I don't even want to say dwindled it away, because it wasn't like you were shopping your money away.
No, that's what was pissed. Like, at least I could have had a Birkin.
I ain't got nothing.
Like, I ain't got nothing to show for this. You know, like, so I was very upset. And I was scared that I thought that I was like, God done gave me these blessings. He ain't gonna bless me no more.
Yeah.
Like, I am not a good steward.
Yeah.
You know, but that was from 2020 and 2021. I didn't realize the mistake until the end of 2021. And when I sat back and thought about it, I kept just investing in the business. Oh, let's try this app. Oh, you say you can do this? You say you need $10,000 a month? I got you. Like, okay, just do it. You know, instead of being a CEO and negotiating, being a CEO and figuring out what needs to happen. And so it really, when I looked at the end of 2021, I realized we had spent 49%. We made $2 million. We spent 49% on people.
As in
Team.
staff?
Staff.
49%?
Do the math.
What?
Yes.
And what was your thought process? Like,
I done lost my MF in mind.
yes.
And because these people were no longer here.
But was it because you weren't keeping up with the tally, like, as the year was progressing? Like, did you know in real time that this is what you were spending? And
not that in a perspective, nobody put it in a perspective of this is too much. Because people would say like, oh, you know, like we had an accounting team at the time and they were like, oh, I remember one month we spent $100,000 on payroll. And I'm like, this seems like a lot. And they're like, yeah, this is a lot. And I'm like, but what's the solution?
This seems like a lot.
Right, like, yeah, but what's the solution? Who do I need to cut in the office?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times CEOs, we see a problem, we see the smoke, but we don't know how to actually put it out. And that was me in the year. I didn't know how to put it out.
Yeah, I know just in knowing you personally, sharing a part of our private conversations. I ain't being shady, but I am. No, period. I know that you struggled also with having built this really big business. You were so happy and grateful for all of your employees. I'm at your office. And I mean, I took like 5 tours of your office just to be in the space. Like, what you did was so amazing. But then you had that reality check where it's like, okay, we got to get up out of this office. We got to do this. But you struggled with having to let people go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So perspective, at the end of the year, I'm realizing we spent 49% of revenue on payroll, but I had just let go of my entire team. I fired everybody.
How do you do that?
Bye. Like, I was hurt. Like, I was like, y'all, because at that point in time, just a transparent moment. And so we had 2021, October 2021, I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh, I got to figure this out. I can't be a hustling mommy. I got to be, I got to be able to go to the basketball game. Yeah. Okay. Like, I got to figure this out. And after Black Friday, a couple of days, I found out I had a miscarriage. And I was so resentful towards the business because I was like, this is why I was stressed out, or this is why this happened, And so for me to then present that to the team, and they were like, I mean, okay. Like, this was their reaction. Okay, well, sorry.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, y'all got to get y'all butts up out of here.
And are you like this enraged CEO walking through your headquarters like, get out, like, you're fired, you're everybody fired? Or did you have like a staff meeting?
No. I called everybody I didn't even go to the office. I called everybody on Zoom, line by line. One person, thank you for your services. I am so sorry. We're going to have to make cuts. We're transitioning the business. See you later.
You even fired your best friend.
My best friend.
Your best friend.
Yes.
Everybody can get it.
You can go.
Are y'all still?
You can go. Bye.
Bye. And if we're not
Straight
best friends after this, then
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes as a CEO, you can feel like I am making sure everybody else is great, from my contractors to my clients, to my customers, to my team. And I'm the only one bearing the weight of all of the distress, all of the financial burden. Like, why am I struggling financially?
Yes.
But y'all straight.
I am doing everything. I'm making sure y'all good, but nobody's checking on me.
Mm-hmm.
And to employees out there, I don't know if they watch Full Transparency, but to the employees, check on your boss.
Check
on your
boss.
CEO.
Learn what they like.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. This morning,
What happened, girl? Y'all gotta go. No.
Get out. No, I'm just playing. This morning, I walk into the studio because I'm building with my family. You've met the girls before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm building with my family, and there's always like this element of Donni, who is really Donitra and mommy to them, and Donni, the CEO and boss, right? And you got to really kind of sometimes tread lightly. And then one day you're like, let's tread lightly. Then the other day it's like, I ain't tiptoeing around this shit. I built this shit. Like, I ain't tiptoeing around nothing. Right? And then you start feeling a little unappreciated and blah, blah, blah. So I walk in today, and just in spending time learning how the girls are learning me, I walk in today, and my water is sitting right here. First of all, Brianna is like at the door waiting to start getting the content. And I'm like, okay, Bree, okay. Like, I didn't have to tell you.
Right.
And then I walk in, and my water has consistently been here for months. Like, they know, whether it's Full Transparency Podcast or the Social Proof Podcast, like, make sure I have my Avion specific water. Avion, I am available for sponsorships and brand deals.
Period.
But this morning just warmed my heart so much, because I usually eat a chocolate chip granola bar before I start Social Proof or Full Transparency. They're here, and I eat one, and I go get them myself. I never ask them for it, blah, blah, blah. I walk into the studio today, and in my seat was a bottle of water and a chocolate chip granola bar. And it's little things like that that make you feel like, you love me.
You know, it's the little things. Let me take you to get lunch.
You love me, Bree. And, to say the same thing, like, my daughter and I have our own personal relationship, but just yesterday, her going out running her errands, we live down the hall from each other. This is a new thing.
Yes.
And she came yesterday, I literally just in the last 2 weeks gifted her own condo in a high-rise building in Midtown.
Period.
And down the hall from me, and we had gone through in Full Transparency like a couple of moments where I'm like, I wanted her to come help me move a rug or something, and she just got the worst attitude. And I'm like, she helped me move this rug, and that thing had the audacity to just walk out my house after that. Like, she said nothing, right?
Yeah.
And the way it enraged me, right? Like, oh, I just got this whole thing and this, and you couldn't help me move a motherfucking rug without complaint?
Yeah.
Yesterday,
she's like, how did I get in this?
Yesterday, she comes to my place, and she was bringing me something that she had gotten, but she gifted me some house shoes, which are one of my favorite things. I didn't ask for it. I didn't think about it, but it was just so thoughtful. Like, those are the little things to know that when you're out and about in your own day, you thought about me and something that means something to me, not something that you're trying to pass off that to mean something to me because it means something to you. It wasn't a shareable. It was like my own thing. And it was a result of me raving about these house shoes that she had in house. And I'm like, wow. That was so thoughtful.
That I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Somebody is thinking, because a lot of times we get forgotten about. Like, we get forgotten about as the mom, as the wife, like, because we just going through the day and people don't show appreciation, or they think about us and then they don't articulate or communicate
that they thought about us.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't read your mind. I didn't know that you didn't go to Pilates because you was trying to come pick me up.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know
what you sacrificed.
Right. I don't know that. So, and you want me to appreciate that. That's crazy.
That's crazy to me. But this is where love languages come in, right?
Yes.
This is where they come in. Literally, I was just having this conversation with myself, because I talk to myself every single day. And I was having this conversation yesterday. I was listening to some audio on YouTube, some personal development audio, and it suggested that you really just kind of have to come to terms with the fact that, like, we say it all the time, people aren't going to do for you what you do for you, and they're never going to treat you better than you treat yourself, right? I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there are some people who will treat you better than you treat yourself.
Facts.
Like that friend who comes in and say, Monrae, get yourself up off the sofa, dust yourself off. Nope, we're doing this together. That person is treating you better in that moment than you treat yourself. But I really had to come to grips with the fact that I am always the surpriser, never the surprised. I am often the giver, rarely the recipient, right? And it doesn't bother me. Like, it used to, years ago, I had a friend ask me, like, why do you do so much for people who don't really do anything back? And we have to really start understanding the relationships and the people that we have these relationships with.
Facts.
They don't always not do something back. They do something differently.
In their own way.
But also, giving is really for me. It's my love language.
It should be.
It's like what makes me feel like I contributed something. And that was literally yesterday. I had to rethink about it. Like, even if somebody never did for you, you would never stop doing for other people. And that even, like, manifested, you're that way. And it manifested in your business. I remember the conversations. I remember sitting in your conference room and diagonally across from that glass was an office full of people working, and you like, she got to go. She got to go. She got to go. And I'm like, Monrae, you've been saying that for weeks and months at this point. When do they go? But it's the giver in you.
Because it's like, because as a CEO, the hardest thing is that you can't reach your full potential until the person the people you're hiring reach their full potential. Like, you're committed to building this family business, so you know that you may have to train more, you may have to do more, but you can't reach your full potential until Bree is the best.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, until Reese is the best. Like, you can't, and it's like, I want you to be better. I see it in you. But if they don't see it in themselves, then it's like,
it just comes off as bothersome. It's uncomfortable for them. They don't want to be there. Away. For sure. For sure. So now you've let the whole staff go. And the day that you do that, I am imagining the scene that I have in my head right now is like, remember when, well, you're young, but this is a popular scene.
On Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince! This is why you're my little sister. We think alike. I'm just imagining you in this empty space looking around like,
please insert the gift. Like, right here. Like,
right here. Like, here we go. Like, you look around and it's complete emptiness. Now what?
I'm like, I'm crying. I'm walking through the office in tears. I'm like, my business is gone. Like, I felt like I didn't know what happened, but I knew that the space that I had to get those people out there. Like, the energy that was coming with them, I was just like, y'all got to go. I'm talking about virtual team, in person, everybody had to go. And so I'm walking through the office, I'm completely like, I just closed the door, and I'm like, I'm finna leave. And so I left, and for maybe a month or two, and mind you, at this point, I'm also grieving.
Yes. The loss of your baby.
Yes. And so I'm grieving. I'm going through stuff in my relationship. Me and Eric, we trying to figure it out.
You in the kaput.
Right. I'm like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I know you said, Jesus, I'm your strongest soldier, but take me off the list. Okay. Like, this was a lot going on. And so I remember I was just like, man, how am I supposed, because I can't stop. I got to make money. I just spent all this money on these people and these systems and this, you know, so I have to figure it out. And I just was sitting, I just left the office and I went back to my house. And for a couple weeks, I was just, I didn't want to work. Like, I didn't want to work. I resented the business. I resented the space.
Yeah.
And I had to, but I love working.
Yeah.
So I had to get back in the grind of it.
Yeah.
To figure it out because people were dependent on me.
Yeah. I remember the space though, and your story is really beautiful. Thank you get started just kind of on a whim. Mm-hmm. Didn't even know that you were this marketing genius that you are. You take this job that in your mind you process as a client, mm-hmm. like you were a CEO while you were on W-2, right. And it was the same transaction, so that's weird. Right? But you then leverage that to go get more clients, and you have it all. You've got the $1 million business, mm-hmm. You've got the beautiful visuals, mm-hmm. Everything about your brand looks really fun, and then doomsday happens, mm-hmm. and you lose everything. But God ain't forget about you. He lets you get everything right back. Yes. And so now you've built it again. And this time he gave you double, because that's what they said he would do, right? Yes. He gave you double what you had before, but then you turn around and you lose it again. Mm-hmm. And I think that these details in your story are so important because everything looks perfect. On social media, mm-hmm. you look perfect. Yeah. Your stories, all the highlights that you choose to show us mm-hmm. look fantastic. Meanwhile, nobody knows what you're suffering through the back. You've got this beautiful office space. Yes. 8,000 square feet?
Yes.
8,000 square feet. Like, I'm going to your girl's space just to get inspiration, right? And really knowing the back end of what's happening to you is the only reason I never pulled the trigger. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, because if this happened to Monrae, like, yeah, I don't know. Right. You've got this space. Your space has become like the must see. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes. They want to see it. It's beautiful. It's a photography. It's a video moment. It's a content moment. Yeah. You did everything you possibly could to keep that space. You started, now that your team is gone, you start leasing rooms on Peer Space mm-hmm. to generate revenue. But at some point, you just got to go.
Yeah, this is a burden. Mm-hmm. This is no longer, because at that point in time, I started to rebuild the company with a different lens. So I didn't want to rebuild it the same way. I had to, even though the way that my team at the time treated me, I still had to take their like feedback. Mm-hmm. And I had to listen, and I had to say, okay, maybe launching 2-3 times a month is a lot. Mm-hmm. Maybe I did stress them out. Yes. Maybe when I get in because sometimes I forget that I'm a CEO, but also I really love marketing. So I like to sit in my marketing seat. And so maybe when I'm in that marketing seat, I am a little standoffish because I'm in the zone. Mm. But I have to be a CEO where I keep the door open and you feel like there's an open like conversation that you can have with me. So I had to take that feedback and rebuild this company. And I feel like God told me slow and steady, you know? And so when I kept building this company, I had to figure out, what did that look like? What is this new vision? What is it? And for literally, I would say about a year, maybe about a year, I had complete imposter syndrome. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, girl, you don't know what you're doing. Girl, you're not good at marketing. Girl, stop it.
Because if you were so good at it, then this would have never happened.
You wouldn't have lost $3 million. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have lost this money. You wouldn't have lost the team.
God says you are an exceptional marketer, not an exceptional manager of money. Yes, right. God, I need all of it.
Yes, I need it all. So I just had to rebuild the vision. And so by the time we got to May, I decided like, hey, like, let me just get rid of this office. Like, I'm not bringing people back in right now. We're in that season of now we have an office, but I was like,
you have an office again now?
Yeah, girl, but it don't look like that. It's the second bedroom in the house.
Right.
It is not
mine too.
It is not. They come over there. I have snacks. Mm-hmm. We go sit on the couch for our conference room.
I'm not even providing snacks anymore. Y'all expensive. Yes. They want Avion. They don't want Deer Park.
No. We got faucet.
You're not doing that to those people.
I'm gonna go buy them some bottled water.
You need to go buy some bottled water.
I like tap water.
That's disgusting.
I feel judged.
You are being judged.
On full transparency.
Heavily right now.
I did not come here for that.
Yeah, I did. I came here to educate.
No, but seriously, it's just different now. Yeah. I feel like sometimes you just have to slow down to speed up.
For sure. How many team members do you have now?
Currently, we have total. I say my core team is 3 of us.
Okay. And what do they do?
we have a project manager that oversees all the launches and the projects and anything that we're implementing. We have and we have a community manager that oversees all our programs and community. And then we have supporting castmates, as we call them, like this maybe overseas or contractors, like copywriters and things. But those are the two that come to the office.
So you don't have all this intern. I got an internal copywriter and I have an internal auditor and I have an intern. I was like, girl, you gonna internal, all right?
Yeah, internal all them bills.
Internalize all them invoices, babe, and pay them on time before people blast you on social media.
Facts.
I love that. Have you rebuilt to a 7-figure business again?
We have. So, and the thing that I say, and I just be like, God is good, because I never stopped making 7 figures. Nothing. Like,
you just had high overhead.
Yeah. Like, I never stopped making 7 figures. Even the year after that, we still hit $1 million. And I'm like, man, that's how I know we work. It works what we're doing, because we keep reinventing ourselves, but we keep hitting this $1 million mark. So we have hit 7 figures consistently again. This year is a little, we'll see at the end of the year.
We'll see. This year is feeling very much
ghetto.
All the way to the last day of the year. Okay.
We'll see.
All the way to the last day of the year.
It might be giving $8.99.
Right. A little 757-ish.
Okay, right.
But it's still almost $1 million,
yeah.
right?
Solid
So I know that cutting back on team wasn't the only way that you saved your business. You also hired a money management team, financial advisors.
Yeah.
How has that been helpful for you? Shout out to our good friend, George Achempawn.
Yeah, shout out to George. Like, literally, now with our money team, because George done transition and he a coach, he helping the world. He helping all the Millionaire millionaires. So we've hired like a fractional CFO that I talk to every week about my numbers. And so that has helped me so much as a CEO, because I can just see what's happening. Because a lot of times I make decisions based on my risk. I have high risk tolerance. So it's like, oh, we need to spend this money to be able to do this, and I could flip it. Oh, let's do it, you know? And so having somebody else to say, but we don't have to, so we shouldn't do that. No, we shouldn't pay for that app right now. No, we shouldn't invest in that software right now. And so me just being able to see my numbers on a weekly basis, like, I just got obsessed with saving money. Like, I'm like obsessed with, oh, our software is $10K. In 2 months, I got it down to like $2K. Like, cut it off. Gots to go.
We don't need them features.
We don't need that.
We won't even use them features.
We don't even use PandaDoc. We don't need that. We'll get it
Draft
again.
an email.
Right. Send it. They can manually sign their contracts on their own. We don't need that.
iPhone has the feature, baby. Maximize your systems.
Literally.
Maximize your... Listen, that's what... So now that I've moved, I'm still unpacking and doing stuff like that. So I give myself another week in which I'm in this stage of unpacking and getting organized. But the first order of business is to do another financial audit, like not even financial audit, but more of a systems audit, because you will find yourself not maximizing really good features. So I don't think that all platforms and systems and tools are meant to do everything, even if they offer it, right? Sometimes a platform will offer you these features just so that they can keep up with what the competitors are doing.
But they're not good at it.
But they're not good at it. So in that case, you do need a platform.
Right.
But there are other platforms that do a thing very well, but because you're so used to what you've been using, you just hadn't leveraged that platform for that.
Yeah.
We're going through and auditing all of that, because I'm paying thousands of dollars a month. Software. And here's the thing. It doesn't cost a lot of money to run a digital business.
No, it shouldn't. We should have such high profit margins.
Yeah.
And then when we look at it, it's like, why am I only profiting 10, 20%? Like, that's crazy.
Crazy to me. Crazy. For sure. So I do, I have been fortunate enough to have a very high profit margin in my business. I think, though, it's because I study business. You study marketing, right? I study business, and in doing so, I understand the ups and downs. And I had financial losses at high level before I was 100% an entrepreneur. So I was always building with a contingency plan in mind, right? Building with certain thoughts and parameters in mind. So I do keep overhead really low. But what you'll find is the busier and more successful you become, the more you let things slide.
Yep.
And then when you have team who you've authorized to make certain purchases and transactions on your behalf,
Yep.
you'll turn around like, I would have never made that decision.
No.
I would have never subscribed to that.
Yes.
And so as a CEO, you still have to have, even with the fractional CFO, even with a bookkeeper, even with all those things,
Yes.
you still need to have a pulse of all the transactions that are running through. And I'm not saying that you're looking at those things every single day, because if you're generating the business at this level that you should be generating, you don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to make it a priority that at least every quarter you are going through and like, what is this subscription? What is this? What is this? What is that? And you'll find that you can increase your profit margin by another 10% just getting rid of
it.
stuff that you don't need.
And one thing I want people to know in this season, because a lot of people, businesses are not bringing in the sales that they once did. Knowing this season, it's okay to reduce run your business at the level that you are at now. Like sometimes we feel like, oh, I used to be at $100,000 a month, so I got to keep these people. No. If you're making 50, we need to run this business at 50. So my payroll needs to be 30% of 50.
30% of 50.
Not 30% of 100,000. You know what I mean? So it's okay to cut back. It's okay to not have all the glitz and glams. And it's okay to, it's an emotional feeling that you have to go through, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Businesses do what businesses do.
Yeah.
They go up, they go down.
That's it right there.
You might be up next year.
Yeah. And I think that I have personally managed, it seems like you will understand, like your business should not, your payroll shouldn't exceed more than 30% of your revenue, right? And you will go to 30.83%. I understand that payroll shouldn't exceed more than 30%, and I'll go to like 17%.
But so question for you, do you feel like your experiences taught you that? Because you talk about your story all the time, how you had a career and things happen, your finances changed, but did that prepare you for this season of entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like I know what frivolous spending can yield for me, and I check myself often, right? Because I have to spend money in certain categories. I'm like, okay, where can, but it's also, it's not like a flex that, payroll might only be 17%. That's not really the number, but that's not a flex, because that means that there's a fear inside of me that's scared to invest the money in that new talent that could help take the business to the next level. And that's where we are in business right now. Like I need to be investing in another person that can help me carry out this vision. But then I'm like, ooh, that one person is getting me real close to that 30%-ish.
Real quick. Experts typically want expert prices.
They want expert prices.
Yep.
I'm like, but you don't understand that I'm a budding entrepreneur.
Yeah,
like
I'm trying. I know I'm cute.
I know what it looks like on the internet, but I am still a budding and emerging entrepreneur. Like I know you're 50, but are you looking for an internship?
Right.
I know you've got 20 years of experience, but is apprenticing possible for you?
Let me see.
Yes. And
that trust, like, I don't know, because you can know how to do something in one company and come over here and completely be lost. And so it's like, how do I know that this is going to work out? And so I'm investing in you.
That's good.
To figure this out. What can we work out?
Yeah.
So that I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
Well, and the truth of the matter is most people who are available to work at a high level in the roles that we need them in don't have experience working for an entrepreneur. And it's a very, very different environment working in corporate America that has established everything. You come in, you get your workbooks, you get your name tag, you get this, that, and the other. You've got a desk. This is where you sit. These are our expectations. Whereas now coming into work for us, we're figuring it out.
Yes.
And the structure is missing and blah, blah. So I'm guinea pigging you, you're guinea pigging me. But at the same time, that transfer into your bank account every 2 weeks is not a guinea pig. This is not a drill.
This is very real.
It's very real.
Very.
Yeah.
And then you want your expert salary to come over here and figure it out. And it's like, it's hard, because I get it. You're investing your time, but this is real money too.
This is real. This is not Monopoly.
This is real money.
And one of the things that keep me kind of grounded with how I spend my money in my business is when I worked in property management, one of the rules in property management, like basically you're managing a whole asset for a developer or the asset owner, whoever owns the property. And the rule of thumb was always, when you're making decisions about marketing, how we're going to get new tenants in the building, how we're going to do upgrades, like when you're walking an apartment, making a decision to clean carpet versus replace carpet, because I go in there and I'm replacing all the carpet, right? Get this carpet out of here. Right. People deserve fresh carpet, brand new.
Right.
And I remember my asset manager sitting down with me one time while I'm managing this property and we're reviewing budget. And he's like, why so much in turnkey revenue? Meaning, why are you spending so much, or in turnkey expenses, why are you spending so much to turn a unit? Show me the pictures of these units where the damage is really that bad. And I'm showing him pictures, and is according to my taste. I wouldn't move in if there was a nickel-sized stain in the carpet.
Yeah.
Many people would.
Right.
I wouldn't move in if it was this, that, and the other. And he said to me, I understand what your preferences are, but I need you to spend this money from within your budget as if it were coming out of your checkbook. So before you make any decision, I want you to ask yourself, would you have made this decision if you own this building? And so because I have been trained to understand that, because I've seen the budgets and I know that we generate this much revenue, but I know that the marketing budget, while it might be $40,000 for that property this month, the next month it might only be $5,000, and the next month it might be $13,000. The next month there may be $0 for marketing, and this is when you're out handshaking and making relationships. So I have understood how to categorize financially for a very long period of time, and that's the space that I operate from. And then recently, in the last couple of years, learning about leveraging credit and funding and stuff like that. That is really what has carried me. Because if I had done what you done and only profited 20%, girl, I would be, hi, were you looking for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom? How soon do you need it? 30 days, 60 days? Let's go ahead and get you moved in. Like, I would be back in that space. Yeah. Like, I got too much to lose.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't think about that because I'd never seen it. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, exposure is clarity. So I was never exposed to managing this amount of money. I was never exposed to, I've always been the type of person where I would invest back into the business. I got $1,300, I put it back into the business because I know we're going to run it up. And if we don't, that's just my risk tolerance. Yeah. So having that in a large organization is not feasible.
Yes.
And I had to realize, one, that it's okay for me to be the priority. It's okay for my salary to come first. It's okay for me to say that I need this for me, because I work in the business too.
Right.
And so a lot of times we don't come first. We come last. I'm like, well, I guess I won't get paid this month. Girl, no,
absolutely. Because not only do you work in the business, you got to run this mug too. Yes. And if you are over there struggling and suffering, you are not fit to run your business.
Exactly. No, I literally remember investing and getting apps and investing in software, investing in people, because I'm trying so hard to chase this $10 million number. Like I'm trying so hard to get to.
What's the date, sis?
Right.
When are you hitting the 10 mil though? Are we talking about 10 mil in a calendar year or 10 million cumulatively?
So that at that time in 2021, that was in a calendar year. I wanted to go for our 10x from $100,000 to $1 million in 2020. I wanted to go in 2021. I wanted to go from 1 million to 10 million. So I was doing everything to get to that number. Now I just I'm going with the flow. I don't even know if I can manage a $10 million business yet.
It's a lot.
I'm not even ready yet.
Hey, CEO Donni Wiggins here, and I am so excited to announce my new mentorship group is dropping. You may have already heard about it, but I wanted you to hear it from the horse's mouth, directly from me. My new mentorship group, Actionable CEO, for entrepreneurs who are interested in professional growth, personal growth, and financial growth. You want to learn from me. Y'all have been asking for this for the last 3 years, and I have finally brought Actionable CEO back to serve you every single week. Direct mentorship from me. You will also hear from other people who are in my community that I believe will be greatly impactful to you. You're going to get behind the scenes. We're going to be spending some time together live. This is not pre-recorded. This is live mentorship. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want to be connected, feel connected, you want to elevate your brand, you want to elevate your life, you want to elevate your level of success, Actionable CEO is for you. If your goals are only goals that you can set and hit easily, then really you're just cheating yourself. Yes. That don't need to be a goal. That's on the to-do list. Right. If you know you can do it, just put that on the to-do list.
It's a little milestone.
But so if being transparent, let me check time. Okay, so we got like 5 more minutes. Okay. I'm also at a season where I'm ready to intentionally date. Ooh. Right? And I am intentionally dating.
More, Donni.
We ain't got no time. Oh. We don't have time. But I say that to say, how do you balance intentionally dating and intentionally making $10 million? See what I be talking about every time I try to leave, something keep holding me back, telling me. I mean, yes. I'm trying to just say enough is enough, yes. But now I have made I've made both declarations. So now it's like I'm on a journey of who do I have to become for both things to be true.
So I think for you, it's going to be what you said earlier. You're going to have to put your money where your mouth is and invest in a team because you can't do it.
In more team,
right? Yeah. Like just getting more, the people that you say you need to get you to the next level because Donni at 7 o'clock.
I gotta be on a date,
Donni is outside.
Donni is in these streets. Yes. Not for real. Donni is passenger seat riding, all right, in these streets. Yes. Yeah. But there's also the element of feeling like I'm not ready to like I just moved into this new space and the whole point of the new space is for me to be able to come in here and be this dynamic visionary and CEO and founder and then just to like pass that off like something's got to give, babe, because here's what I understand. Success is a moving target. What you consider success today is going to be different 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 1 year from now. Yes. And one day I wanted $100,000. The next day I wanted $500,000. Yes. When you do both of those, now you want $1 million, and you do that, then you want $2 million, and then you do that, and it's 3. And now that you do that, it's like I gotta get 10. Right. You got. I mean, because it only makes sense. Right. I mean, because the cost of living. Because the cost of living is so high. Yes. Like, you got to go from 3 to 5 to 10. Why do we have
to not fly private everywhere?
Why can't I just pull up to the airport and you guys are waiting for me with champagne and berries? And so, seriously been thinking about that lately. Like, both of these things have to be true, but I am not going to dig myself a hole, in order to make it happen. Yeah. So I'm in
It'll happen naturally.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. But both of them are going to happen.
Period. Donni ain't never had nothing she don't want.
Donni ain't ever not had what I don't want. Now, I done had a couple of things that I realized.
It was an accident.
Strike that from the record. Yeah. Strike that shit from the record. Definitely had a couple of those moments, but if I want it, I get it. And you really only want the things that are meant for you. You like when you really, really think about it, there are some decisions that you make and you like, I could have done without that because you didn't do enough due diligence. You didn't really sit with it like, is this a selfish want or is this an ordained want? I think. Ooh, and you really only want on an ordained level the things that are meant for you. Yeah. And both things are absolutely meant for me. So listen, I know that you share in my level of confidence and my level of belief. It's belief more than it is confidence. Yeah. People are always like, how are you so confident? I'm like, I just believe at a high level. Like, you cannot convince me that both things aren't going to be true.
Absolutely not. If I said it And I've seen somebody else had it. Why can't I?
Why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Why can't I do it? I see it. Like I said it because you have to say it before you become it.
Yes.
So it's like by the time you get it, you already said it. So without going into like, a whole lot, but personal development, I learned from one of my mentors, like the word saw, if you reverse it, is was. So I was the person that I saw myself being.
Ooh, that's good.
And that when you think about it and look at it in past tense, like it was your previous situation. Yeah. So you have to see yourself. And when I tell you my first day journaling and meditating in my new space, I saw it.
Ooh.
I saw it. I saw the 10 million. I saw the impact. I saw the stories. I saw the millionaires. Yes. And that very same day, I got a screenshot. I got a DM from a young lady who said, one of my clients who said, your girl is officially a 7-figure business earner. Like that morning I saw the millionaires that I would help to contribute to. I saw the vision. I saw how it would play out for the people that I impact, but I saw how it would play out for myself.
Yes.
I have no doubts.
It's going to happen.
I have no doubts. No. And even when things happen, like I know that you question yourself sometimes, but not doubt yourself to the point where you're like ready to throw in the towel.
Yes. And you can't, right? Like you can't stop. You have to keep going. I heard Pastor Todd talk about this. He's a pastor at Transformation Church. And he talked about his success where he measured it from storm to storm instead of success to success. Because storms have to happen to develop the character in you.
Ooh.
And I was like, yes. These storms be storming.
They are really raining.
Yes.
They are soaking. Oh, I almost got hit by lightning.
Facts. And so you have to like really know, like, if things are going to happen, but they're only like trying to develop a better version of you for this next season. And a lot of times the things that you pray for, you have to become the person you need to be.
You was it. Before you saw it. Somebody better deliver a prophetic word in here today. You better personally develop onto full transparency today with Donni. Yes, ma'am. Yes. It has been so much fun. I feel like we've been talking for so long, and it feels like we've only been here for like 30 minutes.
Right.
Y'all, for real, this is really insight to how I would really have this conversation with Monrae. Like if we were at lunch right now, we will be talking just like this. We can't go to the 5-star restaurants because we're too loud.
Yes.
We're too loud. We're too excited. We're too full of belief.
Yes.
We are too full of belief, honey. Yes. I love it so much. And this is the kind of energy that if you want to go to the next level, if you want something to change in your life, you have to change the momentum. And you change momentum. One of the ways that you change momentum is by surrounding yourself with people who operate on a frequency that you desire to operate on. So when Monrae was going through her situation with the miscarriage and the relationship issues, I was operating from a frequency of love and relationship and this, that, and the other, and everything's going well. And so you rubbed off on me. And when I'm going through a season in my business and I just need to know, like, things will turn around, and like Monrae is operating at a frequency that I desire to operate on, and together it's like it's explosive.
Yes,
it's insane.
It is. And that, I think, to end it out, I want people to know that this is why community is required. It's not optional. Like you need people that you can exchange energy with when you don't have what you need in this entrepreneurship journey. This is the hardest, ghettoest thing that we've ever decided to do. And so you can't do this journey alone.
You cannot.
And we tend to isolate ourselves.
Yeah.
And you can't. You need community. You need somebody to say, like, hey girl, keep going.
Yeah.
And that's during that season, that was you.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Donni.
And shout out to you. And not only is it the hardest and sometimes the most ghetto thing, also just stick close to and be grateful for the people like the Monraes of the world who are going out here and giving you the head start based off of their own failure and wins, right? To be able to live out loud in this way, transparently. Like to be able to show up every single day saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm going through, and be so confident to know that people will still do business with you, people will still look up to what you have going on, people will still respect you. Like it doesn't get any more transparent than that.
This was was good. I hope y'all got fun.
This was good, girl. This was so good. So, how to find Monrae will be in the description of the video. But if you are listening in, Monrae, please tell us where to find you.
Yes, if you are listening in, make sure that you tap in on Instagram at Marketing by Monrae. I'm on all platforms. But yeah, just DM me. I really, DM back.
DM her, and she does really DM back. If you are stuck in your marketing strategy, if you need to know how to elevate your results, elevate your business, and you believe that marketing is where your issue is, definitely go over to Marketing by Monrae. She has a library of resources, both hands-on and both at your own pace, to help you, to help unstuck you, unstick you, unstuck, to help get you unstuck and set you free. All right. And as usual, if you are looking for business mentorship and you're like, you know what, I'm vibing on her energy, I know that Donni is the person to help me get to the next level in my business, you need to be in my mentorship community, Actionable CEO, where we are developing entrepreneurs on a professional, personal, and a financial level. You will hear from friends like Marketing by Monrae, who is coming in and teaching just like this, but on a higher level. And with that being said, actionableceo.com. We will see you next week.